Your goal is not in her.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Geek-A-Tech. So today we are going to talk about Java. In the series of Java, today we are going to see that what are the naming conventions we should follow when we create the classes, methods, constants, different variables, interfaces. So what naming conventions Java allow us to use as a uh, as a format which we should use as a best practices for Java. So today we are going to see the different aspects, different things for that. So let's start with those stuff. And if you are new to my channel, please share, subscribe to share to my videos, subscribe to my channel, and mention your comments if you want many more stuffs to watch. So let's start with the stuff. So the first thing is the classes. The classes name should be nouns. Okay, here clearly this one is not a noun which I mentioned here. So always it should say us that what it defines, like we should use, instead of use the different kinds of acronyms and abbreviations like I have put it over here. It should not be like that. We should mention something like uh, test, we can mention, okay, or we can mention something like drive, or we can mention something like bank. Okay, it's giving the error because the class name and the file names are different, that's why. Okay, so whenever we want to give the name to a class, it should be a noun. It should starts with the capital letter. Okay, it should not complete be in capital form. It should start with the capital letter, then rest will be the small case. So this is the naming convention provided by Java for the a class name. Whether it's a private, protected, or public class, doesn't matter. You should always use the nouns for naming the classes. You should start with the capital letter, and rest will be the small letter. If you are using the more than one word, more than like if you are trying to mention like bank, or we can say something like this, saving account. Okay, so in this case what will happen that the second starting word will start with the capital letter. Okay, so the first will be we can say this is a camel case, so first letter will be capital letter, then small, then the another word which we are going to mention, it should be like the capital for the first one, and rest will be the small. Okay, then in case of interfaces, if we want to define the interfaces, then it should work in the same manner like the class. Okay, so for the interface, it should mention uh, the name as the same cable case letter, interface move. Okay, so it should mention some like this. So it will start with the capital letter, then rest will be the small. So the naming convention for both classes and interface will be the same. The third thing is methods. So whatever methods we are going to use, we should mention them and start with the small letter. Then for the every the first letter of the internal word will be capitalized like this: public void open account. Okay, so like this. So if he created a method over here which starts with the small letter and internalize the capital letter for the second word. So this is the naming convention for methods in Java. Okay, so we till now we saw that class name should be the noun and starts with a capital letter. Then we saw the interface in the same manner. The third one is the method. So method should start with the small case, then the internal character will be the same as the capital letter, but don't use underscore, okay, hyphens, Many of the time you saw that people use underscores and hyphens in the name of class, interfaces, and methods. Just don't do it. Those are not allowed. Those are not considered as practice. It will not give you an error, but it will not consider as the proper naming convention as per Java. Okay, now let's see about the constants. How we can declare the constants. We know the constants, the values which we don't want to change over the period of time. So in case of those, the constants will always be, or we can say the static variables will always be capital. Okay, so this is how you should mention the constant variables with the underscore sign. So here you can see that the complete name of the constant will be in capital, and there will be followed by a underscore between the every two internal words. So like here interest, fixed deposit we have mentioned, so we separate it with the underscores. So this will only be used in the static variables when we create them. Okay, the another one is the variables, the normal variables we use um, in our classes, in our methods. So how we should mention them? We should mention them in small letters. Okay, so all the variables should be mentioned in the small, and instead of mentioning them like integer I or integer j or string str, so these are not the right way to write the create the variables. Okay, it will not give any kind of error, but if we want to follow the best practices, then all the variables should be very meaningful. It should be short, it should not be so long. It should not be something like that, string name of the student. Okay, so this is wrong. This is not the right way to write the variable. Okay, if you want to write a variable for a student, then we can directly mention student, or we can mention student name. Okay, so this is how we can create the variables. Again, the second internal word will be the capital, the first one will start with the small. Don't try to create like this I, J, K. Okay, we saw many of the examples, but it's good to use initially in our for loops and all those stuff. But when you learn the things, then when you implementing in your projects, then you should follow the naming conventions, because it is easy to debug the stuffs. It is easy to know that what is happening in your code. Okay, the last but not the least is called the packages. So how we are going to mention the name of the packages? So again, it will start with it should start with the always written in the lowercase. Okay, it should not be the uppercase. Again, the subsequent packages we will denote it by dots. So let me show you like this. Import, if you can see that, java.io dot file dot asterisk. Okay, so if you want to use something, all the classes inside the file, then we should use asterisk. But if we are using something specific to some methods, then we should mention name here. We should not go for asterisk in such case. We should mention that whatever we are going to use, we should mention here. Okay, again you can see that it starts with Java with this small letter, then dot, that again it's internal package which is separated by dot. Then again you can see here that file is the class. Okay, so we are using it with the file name. You can see here it starts with the capital letter, same manner we have mentioned here. So the package's name will be always be small. If we are trying to use the classes inside of it, then it should mention with the capital letter. Okay, and we want to use all the methods and all this stuff, then we can put asterisk. But don't try to use asterisk, try to use a specific things which we can use, which will be useful for us, because it will be easy to understand that which package we are using, because sometimes we saw that same name of the class is available in two different packages, so it might create the confusion. So instead of using asterisk, try to give a complete path of the package, okay, like this, instead of this. If you want to use the file, uh, if you want to use the file class, if you want to use the file functions in your code, then instead of mentioning io dot asterisk, you should mention file. So everybody should know, because inside of io we have different things. We have file reader, we have random access file, we have different of these stuffs, but whatever we want to use, we should mention it separately, so it will be easy to understand that which methods and which class we are using in our code. So easy to debug, easy to review. Okay, so this is a very short video about the naming conventions which should be used in your Java code, okay, as per the industry standard. So this is how we can create the variables, classes, methods, interfaces, okay, and we know that what we should not use as a naming convention, like here I, j, and all those stuffs. Okay, so this is all about the naming convention for Java, and in upcoming videos I am trying to cover the best practices also. So just give me some time, I will create more videos on that. So thank you for watching my video. Thanks a lot. Keep your support in the same manner as you are keeping. If you are new to my channel, just like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and press the notification bell so you will get the new videos soon. So thank you.